Yo, what is going on, guys? All right, what did I experience 30 days on Turkesterone? Turkiswole, Turkalicious, Turk. I don't have any more puns. But what did I experience? Any strength increases, side effects? Did it change my overall body composition? What are the details? So we'll get into that in just a second, but I think it's really important to kind of go through some of the events or just how I was approaching utilizing Turkesterone and just kind of measuring whether or not there was, or I was experiencing any sort of effectiveness. So January of 2022, earlier this year, I had my second powerlifting competition and I was planning to use those lifts, the ones that I had hit successfully, as kind of my baseline of measurement in terms of strength. So 30 days from using Turkesterone, which I picked up March 10th or March 11th. And so April 10th, April 11th, I would basically rerun those max lifts to see if there was any adjustments to those numbers. Now, mind you, January 15th for my powerlifting competition, I checked in at a weight of about 164 pounds or so. And I had also just gotten COVID a week prior to that meet day. So my metabolism, weight was absolutely trash. I ended up spending February kind of resetting and also taking some time off of powerlifting or just lifting in general and just kind of playing around with exercises and movements just because taking some time off. March 10th comes around, I get Turkesterone. March 11th, I end up using first day. It's either March 10th, March 11th. So first day of actually using, I was weighing in at about 157 pounds. So already there's a little bit of a weight difference. Mind you, I'm trying to readjust my metabolism and get myself and my body just kind of getting back on track. So for the most part, what I did notice is that the first week in terms of training, I had actually just started a new block of powerlifting and things were going pretty well. Honestly, I didn't really notice too much of a difference. Pumps were in and out, intermittent. I didn't imagine, or I wasn't expecting to actually experience any sort of pumps, strength increases, or noticeable differences in body composition until at least probably closer to the 30-day mark. To be realistic, I feel like any sort of kind of natural steroid or pills of this type of nature, I think it's going to take a little bit, probably 30 to 60 days to even actually notice anything for your body to start showing real clear physical differences. And so that was my expectation. So to be honest, straight up 30 days, I didn't expect to experience much. Now, as I kind of got a little bit closer into the end of the first week, beginning of the second week, I started noticing a reoccurring trend in terms of I was being bloated as fuck. So excuse me for any ladies that are watching right now, I was bloated almost on a daily basis taking this. So in terms of the number of pills that I was actually taking, I started off with taking, I think it was 3 or 4 pills. And then pretty much by the third day, I ended up just upping the dosage to 6. So I actually split those dosages, 1 in the morning and then 1 right before the gym. And for the most part, usually whenever I took it in the morning, it was decent. I didn't really experience too much bloating. The thing was that right when I would take it going to the gym, it's probably been the most uncomfortable gym sessions that I've had, and it's been difficult to kind of keep consistent, performance wise throughout those 30 days. So anytime I would put a belt on, I mean, just think about it, your gut is already getting filled with gas, and I just feel like I have to rip ass like 24/7 in the gym. Mind you, sometimes it just felt like I just had to take the fattest dumpy. So trying to stay consistent with training and just thinking, in the back of your mind, like, I'm about to squat this heavy ass weight, at least for me, and I'm about to rip ass at the same time. Like, it just wasn't fun. So that was probably the biggest side effect that I've had. And honestly, I don't think I've heard anyone really mention this. So it could be something that's just related to my own digestion and how how my body's accepting these pills and the new supplements. But as soon as I started taking these, literally probably like a week after, I started noticing a reoccurring thing, and I started making notes into an Excel sheet just to kind of make sure I had an understanding of like the different trends or things that I was experiencing while taking these. But for the most part, that was pretty much it. Outside of that, I noticed that training was going pretty well. Again, we had just started a new block, so some of these weights were pretty, I've hit these numbers before, but for the most part, I'd say volume-wise, being able to hit extra reps of a specific weight, I think was a pretty good indication of just in terms of overall performance slowly increasing. Now, mind you, As we get a little bit later into the training, or a little bit deeper into the training, April 2nd comes around. I'm just about to just wrap up the end of my first block. Now, at this time, weight has fluctuated a little bit. I'm about, I believe, 154 pounds. So that's almost a 10-pound difference between then versus January. It's competition day. And in terms of competition, again, I hit squat 386, deadlift 413, and then bench. My bench has always been absolute dog shit. I think it was like 226. So April 2nd comes around. I've got scheduled a double for 420 pounds. And I'm sitting at 154 pounds. So ended up hitting the first rep. Second set, I pulled my back. I definitely heard a pop. I ended up dropping the weight, and I believe the adrenaline was just kind of going through me, so I was able to kind of gather most of my equipment, but I essentially just walked out of the gym. I ended up having to have somebody else help me out with removing the plates off the bar. But that was pretty much it. I stopped lifting after that. But just looking at 420 and then keeping in mind I was sitting at about 154 pounds and being able to pull that relatively comfortably, it was definitely an RPE, like I'd say 9 easy, but 10-pound difference from actual meet day. So I felt pretty good. And if I'm basing things off of that, I didn't get a chance to test out my squat and my bench, obviously. But with that being said, I feel like there was a little bit of an adjustment in terms of strength increase. Take it as you will. Now, with that being said, in terms of overall body composition, I lost about 10 pounds. So with that, you're gonna see natural body change in composition, right? My calories were adjusted at that time and then leveled out after April 2nd. Now, the video that I played earlier, pulling floor 40, was actually just a few days after my competition. So really, I wanted to actually beat 440 to see if there was actually any improvement, but it is what it is. So 420, 154 pounds, I'll take that as a little bit of assistance from Turkesterone. If you guys want to see another, I guess, go at using Turkesterone for 60 to 90 days, let me know down in the comments. So what did I learn 30 days using Turkesterone? First and foremost is the bloating sucked, absolutely sucked. And I hope that you guys don't experience it, but if you do, let me know down in the comments below, because honestly, I don't know a whole lot of other people who have actually gone through that. I remember Rem's video, he mentions it very subtly, and I completely dismissed it. And then a week and a half in, I started noticing reoccurring trend. Yeah, that sucked. Like, just think about it. Like, every time you go to the gym, or at least 90% of the time you go to the gym, you start getting this feeling like, I gotta take a mad dumpy. It's just, I don't know, not cool. So second thing is $153 for 3 bottles for a month. Almost $200 there. There's a lot that you could do, and especially if you're trying to save money or you're trying to budget things out on a month-to-month basis, there's a lot that you can do for $200. Putting it towards investments, put it towards other coaching or programming, training, nutrition, whatever, food for the month. But if you're super gung-ho about getting your compound lifts in, you're really focused on, you don't even care, and all you care about in the world is just your squat, deadlift, bench, it might be worth it. I personally think the strength is pretty negligible, but again, I've only used it for 30 days. Now, with that being said, all of you guys who are part of the general population who are just trying to slim down, I honestly don't think you need it. Just focus on your training, your nutrition, those 2 main foundational elements, and I think you'll be able to achieve your body composition or whatever weight goals that you're looking for. Because honestly, I feel like there needs to be a way more studies done incorporating human performance and just measuring the overall effectiveness of Turkesterone. Right now, I feel like we're such nascent stages of it that there's just not enough that's been done. When it gets to the point where Turkesterone has been studied as much as creatine has, then I think a lot of you guys won't have as many questions or would feel 100% confident spending $200 a month on something like this. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys wanna see 60, 90 days, even longer using Turkesterone, let me know down in the comments, but otherwise we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you all tuning in. Stay safe, stay swole, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.